I'm part of the BSR social media team. Can you guys introduce yourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are 3 members of the Stowaways band. I'm Elsa.
I'm Linus.
So just like to get started, you said your band name is Stowaways. How did you guys get that name, and like what's your MO as a band?
So we are a Beach Boys cover band primarily. We started as a Beach Boys cover band in the spring of 2023. I invited a bunch of people to my dorm room who were a combination of great musicians and friends I had on campus to propose to them this idea of doing basically a crazy, wacky project based in vocal harmonies, which was to try and replicate as many of my favorite songs by the Beach Boys as possible. I had no idea if people were going to respond well to it, meaning the people in the room or a hypothetical audience, but we're here almost 2 years later, and it's still going strong. The naming of the Stowaways...
And for the record, I'd never listened to more than maybe 2 Beach Boys songs ever before we showed up in his dorm to listen to a set.
We had a wide range of, people like me who are diehard fans, and one of the other people in our band, Alex, to people like Liam, who were familiar with certainly some albums and songs, and then people like Elsa, or Michael or Fate in our
who just
band,
were really into
we're
music.
just like, okay, if you say it'll be cool, then we'll do it. And yeah, so that's kind of the basic origin story of the band. The name, there were a lot of proposing.
One of the worst fights Linus and I ever got in was over the name, because Linus actually subverted the election results because my choice,
we had a lot of options.
In part because of interference from Outform, the winning name was Boogie and the Boards,
which I still think is great.
No,
I love that name so much.
We had Waterman Street on there. We had Boys to Mermen.
Starfish.
Yes.
We had the Bitch Boys.
I think the Stowaways, we ranked all of the names. I think it was
Each
last
member,
or second.
It was
The
like
Stowaways.
third
No,
or
it was
fourth.
second.
No, it wasn't.
Yes,
it was.
It just definitely didn't win.
The Stowaways
and
did not win.
It took
Boogie and the
probably a
Boards
week
won.
to 2 weeks.
Boogie
to
and
do
the
this
Boards
whole
won.
Boogie and the Boards won, and I had a real heart-to-heart with myself, where I said I put in a lot of work to this, for this. I don't know. It was so much time and love and energy, and I was like, honestly, I don't even want to perform if our name is Boogie and the Boards. That's how much I didn't
It was
like
a deal breaker.
The headline with the Stowaways election fraud.
Yeah. So anyway, Boogie and the Boards won, and I told a couple of people in the band, I really don't know what to do, and they were like, just say that the Stowaways won, because I was the only one who had option to the form. Like, the Stowaways came in second, and that was my favorite. I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not that kind of person. And I knew it was really only Liam that was going to have a problem with it. So I also write to office, and I drafted maybe the longest text message I've ever sent in my life. I had other editors at the Herald read it to make sure it was well formatted and well reasoned, explaining my rationale. I send it in the group chat. In about 3 seconds, received back from Liam. Not gonna lie, I condemn this decision. And
the rest of us being like,
I just
am here to sing.
Yeah.
And but the one thing I will say is Boogie and the Boards lives on in the group chat name of all of us in the band, and then all the people that are adjacent to the band in some way. It's been the group chat name for quite a while. So the legacy is there.
It's still there.
But yeah, that's where the name came from. It was a very silly process of us not even knowing if the band was going to exist, who exactly was going to be in it, if we were ever going to get any gigs, but for some reason spending 2 weeks of our lives going back and forth about the name of a band that might not even exist.
And for the record, we needed the name because we had gotten our first gig, though, by that point, which was Gigs on the Green, and they needed us to tell them a name, and we were just like,
Yeah, and we didn't want to, make one up that we didn't like and then want to change it. And yeah, it's ended up working out really well. I mean, we have all of our wonderful little Stowaways branded stickers and shirts and all that kind of stuff that, it's been a name that I think is noticeable enough, and we all obviously are a fan of it now. I don't know, do you still condemn the decision?
The decision,
I think he
of
condemns
course,
the process.
Yeah, I mean, it was, almost as stolen as the 2020s. It's just blatant.
But that's the origin story of the name.
I'd like that stricken from the record.
Okay.
Very
Alright.
nice.
It's pretty much me choosing the songs. I definitely draw some like inspiration from what other people are sort of telling me they might want to hear. I had a lot of people telling me they want us to try to do Queen, because it felt like it would fit with the harmonies, and so
And
then we added Somebody to Love by Queen. The Chain, which is one of our other, I would say, like, cooler songs that we do, that Elsa's solo's on.
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac is a song that also, basically I think for songs that I like, and that I think have the opportunity to either allow us to do some cool harmony stuff with it, or to be like beefed up with some harmonies, which is sort of what happened with The Chain, where there's some harmonies in that song, but we end it with a whole like a cappella vocal section, and we also even throw some other like harmony stacks in there. But yeah, generally, there's so much music from the 60s that I love, and on our bio I think now it says Beach Boys / Sunshine Pop cover band, which is the genre that I usually use to describe my favorite type of music, which is like the Turtles, the Monkees, the Mamas and the Papas, which are all bands that we have done songs by now. So yeah, anything that allows us to sort of capture that sound with the big harmonies and, like, I want to say orchestral instruments, though we don't have any, but things that allow us to go big in a live performance in that way.
And I think something that I think that's really cool is because we have Linus, who's an incredibly talented arranger, and has an ability to listen to something and come up with harmonies that'll fit our band so well, whether they're the harmonies that are in the original song or there aren't any and he's putting them in there, has been the thing that I think has allowed us to branch out from just Beach Boys stuff, because regardless of what song we're doing into this band to do, the reason we have as many singers as we have, as many instrumentalists as we have,
pitched it to them as like, this is going to be one of the cooler singing projects you're going to be involved in.
Exactly, was because he's able to not turn every song into a Beach Boys thing, that we can use the same things we use on the Beach Boys songs with super complicated layered harmonies that sometimes take weeks to learn but are worth it in the end. So yeah, we do lots of stuff from the 60s. We did Good Luck Babe by Chapel Roan.
That was the only song from this century.
which we like, is not something that we really frequently do.
We
but
added a lot of harmonies.
Exactly. We did it in a way that was very different from the original, so that it still like was Chapel Roan, but it was us doing Chapel Roan. That I think, it's just been something that's really cool for me, like I said, as somebody that came into this band being like, I love all you people, now I love everybody, but I was like, I love this group, this is a really fun idea, I don't listen to this music at all. If you were asking me to join like a One Direction cover band, I'd be in from the start, because I'll know every song, but I had really just wanted to be in a band with people that I thought were really talented and that would put something together that was new on this campus. So for me, I like Queen, Beatles, not just the Beach Boys, Fleetwood Mac, etc., has been really cool for me to be able to like do songs that I have always loved since I was a kid, Beach Boys or not.
There's also a push and pull, I think, of songs that we do that we know that people are going to be able to sing along to and dance along to, like A Chain or Mr. Blue Sky or Somebody to Love. And then
It has been my push.
and then other songs that, whether they're Beach Boys or not, are songs where it's like no one is going to know this other than maybe some of the parents in the audience, like a song called More Today Than Yesterday by a band called The Spiral Staircase, which I think no one in the band knew before I was like, let's do this.
It's a great song.
I knew that
Or
one.
oh, you did?
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Brownie points.
Or like a lot of the more deep cut Beach Boys songs that we pull out sometimes that are like from just that people wouldn't know, and I think there's always sort of a balance based on what kind of event we're playing, what the balance of those things is, but also even within just a given regular set of ours. Like last night, we played The Chain and Mr. Blue Sky and California Dreamin', and it's like most people in the audience knew and were singing along to those songs, but then we also did a song called It's You by a band called The Millennium, and we did a Beach Boys prayer. So it's always kind of a balance between those. And I also think that two people hear sort of represent some of that push and pull and the rep a little bit.
That's a kind way of putting it.
I think Elsa's on one side. Everyone in the band sort of falls somewhere in between, but they both have a way of keeping me honest. Of Elsa being like, if we're playing at this event, like we have to do a Good Luck Babe or a Sweet Caroline at the end to get everyone cheering. And Liam's like, you really want to let people leave without having played them one of our like more wacky fun songs like a Heroes and Villains or a Surf's Up, which are some sort of deeper cut Beach Boys songs.
Elsa and I's friendship has been bruised over specifically just Sweet Caroline.
I think it's the most fun thing to do. We did it at a Halloween gig last year, and people were hearing it. Like, we did it in Pembroke Fieldhouse, and people were hearing it, like, and being excited about it in dorms, like, across Thayer Street, because so many people were cheering and singing with us. And that is my favorite thing. Like, when we do songs that everybody knows and everybody can sing along to, and they're so fun, my favorite. Liam's favorite is when we do, like, really objectively, musically better and more interesting songs, but that, like, no one is gonna have heard of.
And I'm somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which I think is appropriate. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You offer something to every audience member.
Yeah, I mean, at the 5-song set we did at gigs on the Green last year was "Slip On Through," which was a Beach Boys song that is awesome, that no one in the band knew prior to me saying we were going to do it, and no one in the audience knew, certainly. Then "Happy Together" by the Turtles, which people really love. Then "The Chain," which got everyone going. And then "Heroes and Villains," which is not only a deeper cut Beach Boys song, but one of the stranger Beach Boys songs. And I think people had a good time, but I'd probably describe the audience as in more of a state of confusion.
But also when you take your bass player that no one realizes is going to be singing at all and
solo. Yeah,
comes up
Liam
and does the whole solo, it's no one's probably...
And then we ended with "Somebody to Love," which was like, you know, awesome and sort of more what you're describing with like everyone singing along. So within that 5-song set, we really spanned a wide range of audience participation. So yeah.
That's where
Sweet
we
spot,
belong.
yeah.
That's our sweet spot.
Is there any group on campus that you guys would want to collab with?
That we haven't yet?
Yes.
Ooh.
Personally.
I'm trying to think of a group on campus that I would really... I mean, a lot of the people in the band... For me, a lot of people in the band come from a cappella. So, like, also we're actually the co-czars of the, like, a cappella council at Brown for a bit. Fate, Michael, Luca in our band, they're all in ACAC. And so I've always thought it'd be really cool if we did like a show where it was outdoors and maybe we had a lot more space to invite up, like whether it's an entire group or multiple entire groups to get like a giant chorus, because for me, my love of all of this comes from harmonies and vocal arranging, so the opportunity to get like, you know, if it's like 50 people on a song would be insane. So I'd probably have to say one of the a cappella groups, whether it's like the Jabberwocks or Shades or whoever.
I want your take on this.
Yeah.
I don't want to play with anybody. No, but actually, one of our fellow bands at our show last night
It was incredible.
Shout out Island Rovers.
They're amazing.
Listen to Island Rovers. They're amazing.
Yeah, they're I believe all sophomores or juniors.
No idea.
I don't know, but I've been wanting to play with. I would have said them if you asked me yesterday before our show, but we finally did play with Island Rovers
It also
yesterday.
just fits the vibe.
And they are incredible. All of them play guitar and they all sing, and it is
It's really cool.
is amazing.
It's just 3 of them.
Yeah, it was really really awesome. Can't recommend them enough.
We just get to... That question for me is probably a little bit harder. I like not jokingly say my brother just transferred here, and he's already in like 4 bands. I don't really understand how that's possible, but... So I jokingly say that, but both like... That is also kind of real, because other than that, I can't really think of any other bands that
We haven't.
I
would
like,
shout
we
out
do
some
a
of the
lot
bands that we've
of-
played with before. Like, I mean, some of our members are in a band called The Mud Room, which is a Grateful Dead cover band.
Yes.
There's a band called Series Goose on campus that we also have some overlap with.
Skirmish.
Yeah, there's a band called
R.I.P.
Plastic
Skirmish.
Mary.
Now Plastic Mary.
That's personal information. To say that
Oh, yeah,
Elsa's
no,
dating the lead singer
yeah.
of Plastic Mary.
But we last year.
Julian Deculus and the Golden Hour, we kind of stole their horn section, and he's one of my best friends. also Massive Public Brawl, which is a band. That
They've done a lot of shout outs today.
MPV's got a lot of shout outs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Let's
what they're just,
absolutely
what I am
They're
for
just on a higher level.
yeah, what I am for the Stowaways spiritually is what Liam is for Massive Public Brawl. That's really where his heart lies.
But we've collabed, like, that's...
We've played with all those bands.
And pretty much, have we ever done a show? We've maybe done like 1 or 2 shows in the entirety of our existence where it's just us. Like, we pretty much always have other bands that we're performing with, unless we're on campus. Like,
I think it's just the food truck.
Exactly, like unless we are asked to do
So
something by
the
people.
Experience.
Yeah, and it's just fun because there is such a massive, expansive music scene on this campus, and I swear, like,
also this would be
every 2 weeks there's a new band. I think if people in general, regardless of like how well established a band is on campus or not, if bands are getting gigs for one band and one band only, then there's just so few opportunities. You know, there's only so many like events on campus. There's only so many affordable places in Providence to go and play that people can actually get to. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really cool that there is a culture within Brown's music scene specifically that when shows happen, you're seeing multiple bands on the bill, and it might be bands that you've never heard of before with a couple that you have, or one that's just came out, this is their first gig ever. Because I think there is, not just because there's people that are in multiple bands, like our temporary drummer right now, while our usual one is abroad, like is in a gazillion other bands. Liam's in Mudroom and Massive Public Brawl. Not just because of that, but because there is, I think, just this culture of wanting to invite other people and see other bands perform. That's really cool.
One more shout out is to two more. Actually, one is to Violet Pine, which is our other keyboardist Luca. That's like his solo project that a few of us are also in. Also, I didn't even think about this because I've played with her, and also she's just like on another stratosphere. But Dayla, obviously, would, like, I mean, that would be like so fun to have Dayla, guest on something. So that'd probably be like my dream collaboration if I had to pick one.
It's very doable.
I had the honor of singing Dayla show when Dayla was a freshman and like still playing like random on campus shows, and it was such an honor and treat. So yeah.
What's your favorite venue you played at on campus or dream venue?
Venue on campus. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well,
someone else go first.
I feel like it's pretty obvious.
Dream venue.
Campus dance.
Oh, sure. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Which isn't necessarily a venue, but we would love.
I don't know about dream venue. I'm trying to think about.
I mean, given our music and our aesthetic, I'd love to play underwater.
Yeah, I was literally gonna say my dream venue would be like the beach.
No, but I mean like underwater.
Yeah, I think on campus. Trying to think about favorite.
There's just so many of us.
There's
like
so
the
many,
amount of spaces on this campus that we can't
One of my
play
favorite
on
places
is...
I've seen was like the WBRU little pop-up things that happen by the MCM garden.
Yeah.
Are really nice. We just played Pembroke Fieldhouse last night, which is kind of a wacky little multi-purpose space.
I love it.
That we love to play. I don't know. Honestly, it's hard for me to think of a dream venue on campus because if I were to have a complaint about campus, it'd be that I have rehearsal spaces, even despite the Lindemann having opened.
It's not to be like it's not the space, it's the people, but my favorite Stowaway show was our second show, which was in just like a random backyard house with like a bunch of other bands, and I was like one of the main people setting it up, and very immediately like a neighbor like screamed at us because we were gonna do like a full electric set, and we like sound checked for 10 seconds, and he was like, if you don't stop, I'm gonna call the cops. So for like hours and hours, we were like scrambling to try and make things work, like find a new space or go acoustic, and ultimately we went with acoustic, and that was unrehearsed.
We just had to switch.
Yeah, we just
each
band had to just
every band had to
figure it
adjust. Our drummer Ryder played the entire show on guitar. Keep in mind, drumming is an instrument that does not require you to know any of the chords, but he just knew all of them. So he played our entire 45-minute set on guitar.
But that was really fun. You're right. I think the payoff for the stress that went into that also made it really fun.
And then later for a different band, Ryder played drums.
Keyboards and drums.
That was a blast.
But I'm trying to think.
You should do one of these interviews with Ryder, but ask him the same questions that you're asking, but about like all 10 bands that he's in.
That's a
And
great
just see
idea.
what his answers are, wearing the cap of each different band. Like, okay, as the Stowaways, what's your biggest influence? As the Serious Goose, what's your biggest...
But like half that question could be posed to like half of our band at this point.
Yeah.
Everyone's in.
Mainly right.
And Ray.
Yeah.
There's
If we get them together,
a
that'd
low
be great.
number of drummers.
They'll be living
like
together.
drummers by trade on this
I really
campus,
want
so
Brown
the
to,
same
like they
couple
do in the
drummers
sports
are-
teams, recruit for drummers. There's a real shortage of drummers compared to all the instruments.
Yeah.
So you should get a poster for Enoch or Adoc.
Yeah.
Real
drummers.
I've
Real.
been saying for years now they need to admit 50 drummers.
Just
Just
50?
50 of them. I want 50 of
You want them
them.
to have to fight to get into this.
No, let 50 of them in. So, well, I guess like, whatever. Admit enough of them so that about 50 of them will matriculate. I just need 50 drummers. That would make everything so much easier.
Why do you need 50?
Exactly.
I mean,
Because not only,
But then you're not going to be able to drum for
the
MTV.
drummers, the drummer supply right now is like you just take whoever you got, really. With 50, okay, that's not true because the drummer that I play with is an amazing person and percussionist. Shout out Ray Mandel Mueller.
Oh, I thought you were going to say yourself.
But I mean, just like the idea that you could like know multiple drummers.
it's crazy.
Unheard of on this campus. Yeah.
But I'm getting sentimental now.
Our final question, finally, if the Stowaways were chocolate, what chocolate would it be?
I was trying to, right before this, I was trying to look up, like, classic old chocolates, because I feel like it would have to be. But then I was also like, okay, but it has to be one that has a lot of stuff in it, because we do a lot of different types of music, and there's also so many of us. Like, it's a little bit, I don't know if either of you have ever seen us in any capacity, but, like, the setup that goes into us getting on to wherever we're performing, like, we could never do a show in someone's basement or a house. We physically couldn't fit. We need 6 people with vocal mics and 2 keys and a bass and a guitar and drums and sometimes a glockenspiel and sometimes a tambourine.
I was gonna say.
Oh, 100 grand. Doesn't that have like everything in it?
Does it?
I can't.
I thought so.
I
Doesn't
can't
it?
help feeling like this might be a cop-out answer, but I can't help feeling like we are a box of some type of chocolate.
The Stowaways are like a box
I was
of
gonna say
chocolate.
No,
one of those
I-
bags of the like.
The defining that's coming to mind is just something that has a lot of like more pieces than feel like they should be necessary. like a whole production, you know.
Like a tiny truffle
when
with
you open,
7 layers
like
to
when
it.
you open up, yeah, when you open. I'm not even thinking about like the type of chocolate, but I'm trying to how you have to like pull out. You know, we're not as simple as like, oh, like this is like
Hershey's
some indie
bar.
rock band. They're gonna like pull up with their guitar amp and their vocal mic
Yeah.
and drum set, and they're gonna like rip it, and it's gonna be awesome. You're like, that's like a Twix bar or whatever. We are like, we need, you need to open us up and like look at the guide to know what you're doing.
know,
It's like,
yeah.
okay, like, and that's how I don't know. That's how we are. That's how we are musically. Our shows are. There's like bands on campus that do some amount of improv and jam stuff, and there's also bands that, are very, very well rehearsed, but even then I think like the individual people make up their parts to some degree. I would say that we are closer to like an actual musical ensemble as I think some other bands are, but like the parts are pretty fixed. Like we're trying to do the same thing every time, at least on my end. I think the instruments have like there's a bit more freedom sometimes to like play around with stuff. I would think you would say is true, but I think that as far as vocals go, like I am making arrangements and dishing them out to the vocalists, being like, these are your parts. So I don't know. There's some sort of chocolate that needs to come with one of those booklets that explains what everyone's
like
doing.
that.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a joke about us being like a payday, but then I realized that's not even a chocolate.
What?
What is a payday? What was the joke gonna be?
Well, a payday is just, I believe, peanuts and caramel.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
But what was the joke?
It was gonna be like the band is comprised of nuts, and like nobody really likes us, but we persist. Like you see us all the
Got
time.
it. I thought you were gonna say
I'm
something about us like
kidding, I'm
making money
kidding.
doing this.
Yeah,
That would
that's
just
also
be
also.
I mean,
so
we are
wrong.
excessively rich as a band.
God, yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
We have 3 good
If we were a
answers.
dessert,
Yeah.
we'd be Cracker Jacks.
That
How
is,
about that?
I refuse to agree with that.
I would
I'll
really
go with
just-
your little
for that.
guidebook thing.
I would really just like to underscore our wealth and our ability to defraud elections.
Yeah, that's
At
really
the end of the
important
day.
things at the end of this.
Is it our ability or one person's ability?
Well, I
It's like
mean,
it's
if
me.
we're all complicit
Yeah.
in it, that's why I was. I'm not saying that.
Well, finally, can you guys plug your band? Where can I get Stowaway sticker?
Oh, we should have
Oh
brought
my
some
gosh!
merch.
Oh, we should have brought some. There will be more Stowaways
There'll be more
stickers
merch.
soon. These wonderful, cute little in our color scheme stickers. And we do have like actual like shirts and things like that we need to make some more of. We can plug, but our Instagram is the Stowaways_band. You can find us there. That's our kind of main place that we put.
I pretend like I run it, but it's really also.
Yeah.
I pretend like I run it, as in I say I run it, and then when I don't post, Elsa posts.
Yeah, but that's where you can find like any of our show information will be up there.
The password is.
We have.
The password is actually.
It is a numbered combination
Yes.
because I got to make it some sort of thing that ends up spelling I hate the Beach Boys, which I think I type it in whenever he wants to log into the account. But regardless, that's where you can find all of the information, like our clips. We do little like Stowa stairs where we like go into the staircase and lists, and we just do vocal stuff and the harmonies. They like just the reverb, the acoustics that space creates is really cool. That's all there. Clips from shows are all there. And yeah, any information about shows coming up that we've either done or that are coming up will be all up on there. And yeah,
There's some exciting stuff coming up. For
we
the
do.
spring. So there
For
will
the
be some
spring.
cool announcements.
Hopefully we will have another gig maybe in December, also like a collab gig similar to the one we did last night with some other bands. We did a holiday one in this building actually last year that was really nice and cozy. But yeah, any of that information will be on the Stowaways_band on Instagram. So
Speaking
you
of
can find us.
underscore, I would also just want to underscore at some point.
Smooth.
And
Smooth.
Okay. At some point in this interview, I just
That's
want
the
to.
real deal.
I would, at some point in this interview, I'd also just want to underscore like how grateful I am to everyone else who's in the band. Just because this was like a total wild vision I had that was not expected to materialize into something that would last this long and result in this much fun and also this much commitment from all of them. Like everyone has really taken it to heart, and it's been cool for me to see. Whether it's I think you were having the sticker around and sort of making this a part of your identity, or whether it's
I don't even go here, dude.
whether it's some of the friends in the band who I've actually converted to being like huge fans of this music, who now I get to talk about it with all the time, and it's just sort of worked its way into our vernacular and our pre-existing friendships. I think it's been super special and is one of those things that totally could have not happened, and also that feels very Brown University to me.
Yeah, I think for a lot of us, this is like our.
At a lot of other schools,
happy
I would
thing.
have been. Yeah, I would have been laughed out of.
But no, we're all
yeah.
we're all people that have lots of other, like Linus was saying, a lot of us were doing a cappella. Like there are people that have lots of other musical outlets
I think we've
here,
created a really
but
special space.
this space
for
has been really
us.
special enough that I am not the only person that has graduated from Brown and still finds a way to be in this band. In fact, my commitment, I'm still in the area. There's somebody that's still actively in our band that performs with us that lives full time
New
and
York.
works in New York City.
Wow.
So like this band, it's important enough and means enough to all of us, including those of us that didn't even know this music before we were in the band, that like we're still making it work after, I can't even swipe into our rehearsal rooms anymore, but I'm still here because it is really special. So
I mean,
as much as you thank us, we thank you.
I mean, the paychecks we get, we can't really afford.
Yeah.
Man,
Well, thank you
You're
guys
just
so
putting
much.
food on my table. I can
Thank you for sitting down with
Yeah,
us.
Yeah,
Thank you
for
so
having
much.
us. Yeah.
It's been an honor.